Welcome back to the SuperCoach channel. In this video, we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to look at someone else's SuperCoach EPL team. So I did get a request from, I've completely forgotten, so let's have a quick look. Marc, Big Gems is the name of the team, who said he's a big fan. He said he's a Liverpool man as well, which gets him big points on this channel. Yeah, he said, can we have a look at the team or use it in an upcoming YouTube episode perhaps? And so I thought, why not? Let's have a go at something a bit different and look at someone else's team rather than just talking about what I think. So thanks, Marc, for the idea, and thanks for letting us use your team. So having a look at the team in goal, he's gone with David Raya from Arsenal and James Trafford, who is currently listed at Burnley but has transferred to Man City. So I think if Trafford does get the number one spot there, that at 3.9 mil he is awesome value. And obviously then you can go with this strategy. But as I said, I do like having the goalkeeper and the backup from the same club. If you did want to do the Arsenal double, you'd be looking at Kepa, would be the number two, I'd imagine. But at 6 mil, that's a lot of budget in goal. So I do like Raya as like a cheaper option to Alisson, who I've gone. Arsenal's defence is up there with the best in the league, easily top three. Some debate about where in the top three. But yeah, at 6.7 million, a nice, easy lock, set and forget goalkeeper on field. So pretty happy with that setup. In defence, so gone the 3-4-3. So Saliba at Arsenal, so double up in the Arsenal defence. Decent strategy. I wonder what price Gabriel is on the other side. So a bit more expensive. He generally has the slightly better goal threat in terms of, from set piece. But I guess if you're chasing the clean sheet and defensive points, Saliba offers just as much in that area at a $2 million discount. So every dollar helps. Gone with Frimpong, the new Liverpool right back. I don't hate this pick. Again, obviously being a Liverpool man, all about Frimpong. Just hasn't quite fit in my budget for my team currently. If I find a way of cutting back on some of the big spending I've got in the forward and midfield, perhaps I could squeeze him in. And Udogie from Tottenham, so he's currently in my team as well. Obviously, Porro on the left side offers that more attacking threat, or at least he did under Ange Postecoglou. I guess we've got to remember Thomas Frank is the new manager. How he uses those wing backs will be different, but it may offer a little bit more upside for a doggy, which is what we're chasing. So I do like him as a pick. And then on the bench, he's gone with Kyle Walker, who's also sort of done the reverse Trafford and gone from Man City to Burnley this year. Probably offers a bit more job security instead of being rotated at right back, but is quite old. So I don't know how much of the attacking threat that he used to offer is still available. But at 4.2 mil, it's not the worst punt. And then Juve from West Ham, I'll be honest, I haven't heard anything about him. I'll try and have a look if he's anywhere in the conversation for West Ham. So this fantasy football pundit site that I've come across, I'm a big fan of it because it also has the projected lineups but also potential replacements. So having a look through, he's not in the starting back line. Doesn't particularly feature in the potential ones either. So I think maybe there's some better options. Obviously, if he's just a placeholder, that's cool. But I think there's definitely some options, particularly with that almost half mil in the bank. You can take another 4.2 option, if my maths is any good. I'll have a quick look if we sub him out. Yeah, so the 4.2 options are all available if you do like another one of them. Or obviously you can look a little bit cheaper. There's definitely some more playable options in that price range. I'm just going to slap Connor Bradley in there um, because I can. In the midfield, Cole Palmer. I don't know if we said captains or vice captain. This was the default when I plugged in all the players. So, probably number one midfielder in the game. Very attacking. Does the penalties, all the good things we like in attacking um, fantasy Premier League assets. So, makes sense to get him in early. Odegaard and Foden. So, the two in that sort of mid price range. Odegaard, I think, is a pretty good shout. If we scroll um, up. So, does play in that midfield three alongside Zubimendi and Rice. Rice is definitely the more defensive, and potentially Odegaard is the more attacking. It'll probably be more of like a, two and Rice is a defensive midfielder potentially. Um, But Odegaard is feeding Gyökeres, who I'm a big fan of. You've got Saka, Martinelli, plenty of attacking opportunities there. So, I think Odegaard's okay. I'm taking the punt on Zubimendi at a bit of a cheaper price, but Odegaard is a bit more of a known quantity. Phil Foden's a tough one though. Pep Roulette is real. If we have a look at Man City's lineup, so currently they've got Doku and Savinho ahead of him. But even then, you can see it's a 50-50 sort of shout. Foden's a 50% chance of coming in somewhere in that front three, and they do rotate. So, you know, Rodri, who's also in this team, is a great shout just because, he was not long ago the world's best player before injury. So he is the one that is set and forget in that midfield. But Pep does like to rotate through, keep everyone fresh and up and about. But it is a nightmare for fantasy teams. So not big on Foden, but if he could get a decent run of fixtures, he definitely offers value at the price. And Lewis Skelly is the other bench option. So two cheap midfielders, and Lewis Skelly should get some good game time at Arsenal. The issue is that it is probably going to be at left back. So the the one thing with this sort of game is if players are listed as midfielders and they play in defence, they don't get the clean sheet points that defenders get. So even though you've got Saliba, Lewis Skelly, and Raya, if Arsenal get a clean sheet, you're only getting two lots of points. You might get an additional point from Lewis Skelly, but he doesn't score the clean sheet points as a defender. And then also, I guess if he is attacking, he scores goals and assists as a midfielder. But being in defence, it's probably rarer to begin with. And then also, he gets less value for that. So, you want to potentially avoid these out of position players if you can. But at 3.9 million, if he is a walk up start, there should be that base in points every week for his, his start, his contributions in the team. But I don't know if there is as much value as, an out and out midfielder like Rodri, or obviously we want more attacking options. So I don't know if there is any other sort of options at the price point. 4.2. I think I've only got Rodri in my team. Um, I have looked at Lafay from Sunderland. He is a very attacking midfielder for Sunderland. If we have a look at their team, plays as that 10 or sort of, even second striker type role. But he does play for Sunderland. So how many goals will they score? Debatable. After that, it's really just fringe type picks. So, I mean, if you do want to go the two cheapies, that's probably the option. Maybe Lavia would be a good chance of starting in the midfield at Chelsea, albeit as a more defensively minded type. So they've got Reece James currently listed. but you think Lavia would be next man up. Um, Dan James would be an attacking wing option at Leeds, but again, he plays for Leeds. They used Harvey Elliott in a sort of false nine role for Liverpool in the preseason matches. Don't think he starts though. Jack Grealish, if he can get on the field, is good value, but again, he's well down the rotation, it would seem, at Man City. Um, Bassuma's more of a defensive option that could potentially start at Spurs. So yeah, they've got Benker and Bergval ahead of him currently. So there isn't a lot of standout options at that cheap price point. Oscar Bob, if he can get back on the field, very attacking option, but again won't get the minutes you'd imagine. Um, yeah, so it's kind of one of those things of pick your poison of those cheapies. So at the price point, Miles Skelly definitely isn't the worst shout. I'll see if I can find him again. They're plugging him back in the team. There we go. Then up front, gone with Erling Haaland over Mo Salah. As a Liverpool man, that's obviously tough to go with. But, it is a discount of $4 million, and $4 million has allowed him a bit more opportunity in defence. So I can't begrudge the move there. A lot of people going with potentially both. That's pretty wild. Florian Wirtz at 8 mil, I think it's pretty much a walk up start. Would he be the most popular? No, surprisingly, fourth most popular. Rasmus Højlund at 21%. A lot of people backing him in for Man U. Who's there projected? I guess he is projected to start up front, albeit 40%. Doesn't fill you with confidence. We've got Xerxes. I guess Cunha could probably play in the 9 role potentially, although he is probably better suited to that 10 or that more attacking midfield type option. So not sure who they're planning on plugging in based on those. So I mean maybe Man United's going out to buy someone. They were interested in Gyökeres, didn't get him. And then Kudus at 6.5 mils, very popular. I did see some news that Solanke may have an injury. I haven't checked the latest. So this wasn't updated recently. So I might just try and do a quick Dom Solanke search. Injury update. Right, let's have a look. Close to returning from an ankle injury, so probably nothing to worry about there. But even then, Curtis is more of a winger anyway. So they've got him as a 90% chance of starting. So obviously Son is probably starting to be phased out. So based on that, I think that's a good shout at the price. Obviously I've gone with Gyökeres for a little bit more. So I think the one gun and a couple of value mid prices is the strategy to start the season, because obviously we are chasing value. But definitely looking at end of season having Haaland, Salah, and then it could be an Isak, it could be Saka, could be Gyökeres. Just an out and out weapon up front. So yeah, so all in all, big fan of Mark's team. Obviously, we have different teams, but that's what's great about these fantasy type games is we can all put our own spin on it and we see how things go. So yeah, so thanks for that suggestion for the video. Um, Pretty awesome idea, and yeah, planning to do more of it because the other suggestion was that we get a bit of a Discord going. And so I haven't really been in the Discord space previously, but I guess with the invitation to join the Podmasters League, which was pretty cool sort of opportunity. They're on Discord, so I've got back into it. And Shoab, big supporter of the channel, suggested we do one. So we do have a SuperCoach Nuffs Discord. So not too much going on here at the moment. Um, yeah, pretty quiet if I get into it. So yeah, we'll work it out together. But if you want to jump in, I'll add the link in the description of this video. I've thrown it in all the Supercoach leagues currently going around too. So if you're in NRL, AFL already, feel free to jump in using those links, and we'll get some stuff going there. And speaking of leagues, second league is filled up. Ridiculously awesome response. I'm not sure whether we can fill a third league, but if you've missed out and you do want to join in, maybe give us a little comment below this video, and or get in the Discord and ask for it. A couple of different avenues now. So yeah, we'll wrap the video up there. Let's get Mark's team back on because that looks a lot nicer than what I just had. And yeah, let's get involved. Obviously, the comments and the Discord in the description. But give us a like if you're loving the EPL content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. I've got a sneaky feeling NBL will be released very soon, so we'll be having that. But other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.